Friday, June the 11th. This morning, Kun Tun, you met the Prime Minister with a group of Asian journalists. What was the most interesting question?
The most interesting thing did not came out from the visitors, but
no?
from the government itself. First, we met Kun Paditan, the acting government spokesman,
yes.
And he said to us that the government was really surprised to see in the newspapers that the Prime Minister has promised an election for early next year.
So he said he didn't promise.
He said obviously did not promise that, and he was just talking about possibilities. And then the Prime Minister came to the meeting and he said the same thing.
Yeah. What actually does he want to convey to the public then? When would election take place?
He said the most important factors would be the election has to help the country instead of further complicate the problems.
It's a very general statement. What does it mean?
It's a very very general statement.
Yes.
So it can be sooner, but I'm afraid it could be maybe later.
But I understand that he said in Vietnam during the World Economic Forum conference, he was talking to a few reporters and he said it's going to be sooner rather than later, but he didn't give a definite time frame.
No, not at all. And I think by saying sooner, he probably means sooner than November next year, when
which
the
is
government is supposed to
the term expires then.
This term, yes.
So anything before November next year is
sooner. It's sooner, of course.
But do you think he really plans now to live until the end of the term, end of next year?
No, he actually, the Prime Minister repeated a few times today that he did not expect to complete the term. But how sooner he want to have an election, we don't know. Well,
from his Reform Thailand plan and the National Reconciliation plan, it's going to take at least 6 months from now before you can see a clear picture of what the next political step is.
Yes, of course. And this is another major issue that interests our friends from ASEAN countries.
Yes.
Yes, and many people ask him how the government can expect to achieve reconciliation.
Yes.
Whereas a lot of issues in the process could even worsen the situation. To that, Kun Abhisit replied that actually the government doesn't want to really appeal to the core leaders of the racial movement. He said the government wants to appeal to the ordinary racial members.
So he's drawing a line between the racial leaders and the so-called general public.
Yes, and he complained, so to speak. He said whatever the government proposed to solve the national crisis, it seems that the former Prime Minister, meaning Kun Thaksin, and people close to Kun Thaksin tend to reject every proposal. So this roadmap process, he said, would involve people at the grassroots level or the middle level instead of the core leaders of the movement.
So do we see a dual track policy here? One in which he would try to draw in or attract the public, the so-called grassroots people.
Yes.
The other is to be tough on the racial leaders.
Yes.
Because the government authorities continue to hunt down some of these people who are supposed to be involved in leading the protest.
Yes, but even so, he said the government is open to the involvement of the alleged leaders actually in the process of investigation. He was referring to the committee led by Khalid Nanakorn, former Attorney General, who's leading a probe into the incident.
Yes.
And he said that any racial leader who want to get involved in the investigation process are welcome.
So you do see a soft and tough approach at the same time?
Yes.
In which he plans to be able to also claim that he has a national reconciliation plan at the same time to observe the rule of law.
Yes, or maybe he was trying to be neutral because this investigation process was supposed to be independent. So he said it would be up to Kun Kanit to select the members.
So you believe that Kun Kanit is really independent? Well,
Yes.
so far, because Kun Kanit says he's going to meet the racial leaders at the Naresuan camp to invite some of them to give him opinions on how to restore peace and how to implement national reconciliation. We shall see how independent Kun Kanit is from the government.